I really enjoyed making this video today. I want to welcome you to Frugal Willie Mae's Kitchen. Today I'm going to answer a request by Juan. He made this request maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. He wanted to see a video about making cornbread. So I'm going to show you the best cornbread recipe that I have used for a long time. All right, I've got my oven preheated to 450, so let me get the mix ready and I'll show you all the ingredients step by step. In the bowl, I have 1 1/2 cup of cornmeal. Now, I do use Martha White Cornmeal, and they're not a sponsor or anything like that. I don't get anything for promoting that. I just want to let you know the brand that I use. It is a fine cornmeal. It's not the medium grind like I've had in the past. I like this cornmeal better. I'm adding 1/2 cup of the bread flour. Now, both of these are plain. They're not the self-rising, because I want to put in my sodium and I want to put in my aluminum-free baking powder. You could get this self-rising flour if you did not want to measure your own salt and your own baking powder. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt, and I use Morton low sodium salt. I use the aluminum-free baking powder. The baking powder is 2 1/4 teaspoons. That's all the dry ingredients, and I'm going to mix that up pretty good. Actually, I like the fork better to mix it. So I'm mixing it pretty well. All of the dry ingredients, that makes a self-rising cornmeal mix. Now, sometimes I will actually mix this, pre-mix it, and put it in jars. So if I want to bring out a little bit at a time, I don't want to make a full pan, I can do that. Next, I'm adding in all of the wet ingredients. And so this is 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. I'm adding in 1 whole large egg, and this is 1 cup of 2% milk. You can use canned milk, you can use instant milk, you can use whole milk. I want this to be like cake batter. I just want to mix it good. If it's not quite like cake batter, you can always add a little bit more milk, a tablespoon at a time, or water. That's looking pretty good. I did put my skillet in the oven to get it hot so that when I put the cornbread in there, it will start kind of bubbling on the bottom. It'll make it crisp on the bottom. And you just spread it out into your skillet. And I'm going to put that in the oven. I'm going to set the timer for about 15 or 16 minutes. I left this a little bit longer so that the top would get brown. I like it brown. I actually turned it on broil like for a minute, and it did make it look a lot darker. Now the cornbread is ready, and I cut a piece to show you how thick it is. Southern cornbread is normally pretty thick. I like mine a little thinner, so in most cases I will make mine just maybe half inch thinner than what this is. I like it crisper, and I will use it with soups, and I eat it with vegetables, and I eat it with especially dried beans. I love cornbread and dried beans. Now there's different ways that you can cook it. You can do like I did with the cast iron skillet, which makes, a big pan of cornbread. I normally freeze mine and take out just a piece at a time. I'm not going to eat it all in one time. I wouldn't hold it. But the other thing you can do with it is make cornbread muffins. And a lot of the restaurants that serve Southern food, like Cracker Barrel, I'm not sure about Bob's. I don't know how Southern they are in their cooking, but they may also use the muffins, but I guess it's easier to portion it out whenever you make the muffins. But it's just the same recipe. You put it into a muffin tin. The other way, which is really good, and I normally don't put egg in the mixture, but because I was making the cornbread muffins, I went ahead and used the recipe with some of the leftover for fried cornbread, where you cook it on top of the stove. You put a little oil in it. The better ones are mixing the cornmeal, no flour or very little flour, and not using an egg, just milk, and then you fry it in the oil, and it tastes really good. That was Mama's favorite way to cook cornbread because she couldn't do eggs, and she was very frugal anyways. That's why we call it Frugal Willie Mae's Kitchen. But I love eggs, and I always felt egg deprived growing up, so I eat as many eggs as I can during the day. But anyway, I think you'll enjoy that cornbread, making the cornbread. I've never made cornbread that I can remember in anything but cast iron, but I'm sure there's some other pans that you can make the cornbread in. Try it in whatever you've got. But the cornbread in the cast iron skillet really makes it good. I just wanted to show you what you can do with the cornbread, and I hope this does help you, and I hope it helps anybody watching the video. This cornbread recipe is a really good recipe. You can use it as a basic because you can tweak it to how you like the flavor. Mama made cornbread very similar to this, but she used different ingredients. She used like Crisco. She did use a lot of the Martha White flour. There were another couple of, Martha White Cornmeal. There are several other brands that she did use in her later years, but every time she made cornbread, it was so good. As time went on, I changed mine, I'm sure, a little bit. I may have taken a little bit from what she did, a little bit from what maybe another relative did, some from my mother-in-law. She made great cornbread too. The thing about that Southern cornbread, the recipes, every family has somebody in that family, either a father, a mother, aunt, cousin, uncle, whoever, that was used to making the cornbread, and you would always hear them say, "It's the best cornbread I've ever eaten." And it's always fun to hear it. Now, some of the Southern cooks would use baking soda, and they would use the buttermilk instead of the regular milk. Now, there are some cooks that will add a little bit of sugar to their cornmeal, and I did in my younger days add like 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, and then I got to where I just didn't enjoy it as much. The beauty part of the cornbread is you can add corn, to the cornbread and make it have a little different flavor. You can add chili pepper, cayenne pepper, whatever you want. Like on this cornbread, you've got several recipes. I don't know whether you can see that or not. But you've got like the Southern Country Cornbread, which is similar to what also I did on the side. I have a recipe for Tex-Mex. If you're one of those that really likes the Tex-Mex with the cheese and all the jalapeno, this does call for jalapeno peppers, so it's going to be a little hotter. And I'm sure you can put as much in there as you want, because there are some people it cannot get hot enough. But it is very forgiving on how you can change the texture. I want to make a point on being very frugal in your kitchen. So whenever I started the cornbread video, I thought, well, I need to make more than just the pan of cornbread because my oven's already hot. So that's why I made the muffins, cornbread muffins, and I made the fried cornbread on top of the stove. It wasn't in the stove. But I'm on my way now to make biscuits because my oven's hot. I really enjoyed making this video today. It gave me a lot of bread to put in my freezer, as well as showing you how you can make the cornbread. I do have cornbread made 3 different ways: in the oven, in the little cupcake tins, and on top of the stove. But I also made a batch of biscuits, and that really excited me that I could utilize the electricity where my oven was already hot. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll come back to watch some more. And I thank y'all for coming to my channel and watching this video. I love you all, and may God bless you and keep you, and may His face shine upon you this day and your family. And do stay safe.